We're Nick and Charlotte and welcome to our YouTube channel Finding Fins. We quit our jobs to travel the UK in our transit van in the search of whales and dolphins. Follow our adventures as we discover the amazing wildlife we have on our doorstep.
We're back from Shetland, but we miss it so much. It's all we talk about. But we are actually still looking for dolphins at the moment. We're in Newquay in Wales, so we're out having a look, see if we can spot anything.
It's one of our favourite spots to go, especially in the summer, so it's just full of bottlenose dolphins.
Yeah.
But we're at the beginning of winter at the moment and it's freezing cold and I don't think there's many around, but it's still nice being back.
Yeah, definitely.
But we wanted to put this video together to highlight our best orca encounters on Shetland. So we're just going to go through them and have a look back.
And show you them all.
We arrived in Shetland in early June and we had a very slow sort of first month. We had about 3 weeks and we didn't really see a thing at all. Never mind orca, we didn't see hardly anything.
But it actually turned out that majority of the orca pods were over on mainland Scotland at Orkney. So our friend Steve managed to get some amazing footage of the 27s pod over not far from John O'Groats. The two locations that he managed to find them at was Kirk and Puffing Cove, which is just amazing that he managed to get this footage. We'll put it in now to show you.
You'll be able to see more of this pod later on in the video as well if we have a couple of encounters with them.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible, so they got so close.
So cool.
But thankfully our friend managed to get this footage and we can show you now.
Yeah.
Our first orca encounter is the first orca encounter we had. It was towards the beginning of July. I'm about to get drenched. And it was the North Mainland of Shetland at Lunning, and the pod we saw was Moose's pod, which is also known as the 19s.
Yeah.
She's believed to be the matriarch of that pod. And they had 5 orca in the pod when we saw them.
Yeah. That was, at that time, that was the most orca we'd seen in a pod, which was, it just felt like we were seeing loads. It was so incredible. It was so exciting to see.
We saw all their fins come up all together right in the distance.
Yeah.
And they were quite far away, so they're over by Yell, which is the next island up from the mainland.
Yeah.
They were heading down that coast, and then we were at the tip.
Yeah,
of
we
Lunning.
thought let's try and get ahead of them and hope they come down our way, and luckily
we guessed right and they come pretty much straight past us.
They just cruised straight past us. They came quite close to shore as well as they passed through the sound between like Lunning and Wolsey. Yeah, it was amazing. We kind of tried to catch up with them further down the coast as well, but we lost them, didn't we? They kind of went offshore, but it was so incredible to see.
The pod also had 2 huge bulls as well, which looked massive.
So it looked so impressive.
So after we saw Moose's pod, our look kind of changed with the orca.
Yeah.
We went from seeing nothing at all to then seeing lots of different pods.
Yeah.
And then we eventually saw a lone bull orca making its way down the coast of the mainland.
Yeah, we first caught up with him at Lerwick off the Nab, and he was quite far in the distance. We could only really see him with binoculars, so then we thought, oh, well, let's try and catch up with him further down the coast. And we saw him at 8th Setter, where we met our friend Andrew as well. And he came quite close in, actually, really right by us.
He wasn't surfacing much, but when he did surface, it was quite impressive to see.
Yeah,
it was quite hard to get footage of him because it just pop up in completely different locations. So
yeah.
We only got a couple of seconds, but
it was pretty cool to see, and he was quite impressive as well. And he was quite big.
He's known to travel on his own and also join up with different pods as well.
Yeah, and it had been a while since he'd been seen in Shetland as well. It had been, you know, a good few years since he'd actually been seen there, so it was nice to see him on his own. So there was one pod of orca that we were really desperate to see when we were planning on going to Shetland, and they were known as the 27s. They come in very close to shore and they come in quite regularly to Shetland, so we were really hoping that we were going to catch them whilst we were there.
These orca are the same ones that our friend Steve managed to get when we was at Shetland and he was at John O'Groats.
Yeah, so we were really hoping that we got to see them, and luckily we saw them 3 times during our stay. So one time was at Gremister, which is just off Lerwick on the mainland.
They were really far out that time, and all we managed to achieve that day was just get absolutely drenched.
We didn't get any footage, but we saw them in the distance still. I can't believe it, we've actually managed to find our own Welsh orca. Look at him. So we managed to catch up with the 27s on Yell. It was a bit of guesswork because there weren't many sightings and reports of where they were, so we thought, let's just get the ferry over, we'll go and try and find them ourselves. And we caught up with them at Cullevo, which is right at the top, so we watched them go through the Blue Mull Sound. And then we followed them all along the coast, and we got ahead of them and went to Brecon Sands. It was a bit of a run across the sand. It was a bit of a sprint, and we managed to get all the way over to sort of the edge, and we saw them go right past. They're really active as well.
Tail slapping and breaching and spy hopping.
Yeah.
We got a couple of pictures and a bit of footage, but
Yeah.
they're a bit further away.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't like the best encounter we'd had with them, but it was really
still really cool
and it
to
was
see
lovely
them.
weather as well. It was actually really sunny, and we were in shorts. Well, Nick's always in shorts, but I was in shorts as well. And it was nice. It was a nice memory to have. But our best encounter of all has to be when we were searching along the coastline at Eshenes, and we were just along the cliffs round the back of the lighthouse, and all of a sudden we spotted some fins come round the corner of the island.
We'd been there for quite a while as well. We'd been there pretty much all day, and we just picked all our camera equipment up. We was about to get up and leave, and then Charlotte just noticed something coming around the corner in the distance.
Yeah, and we couldn't believe it was actually the 27s. They headed towards Stennis, so they looked like they were kind of heading a bit away from us, but we were still getting quite a good view of them going sort of across the bay. Then we saw quite a lot of splashing, and it looked like they were actually killing a seal in that bay.
They're in right next to the beach, within meters away from the beach.
So we were thinking, oh, that would have been amazing if we were over there. Imagine the footage we would have got over there. But then they decided to head back out offshore, and we're like, oh well, maybe that was all we were going to see of them. But it was Bull 34 changed his mind.
Did a U-turn and sort of headed straight towards us.
Yeah, we're bringing the rest of the pod. They came straight towards us, so we were having a bit of a panic, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was
deciding what cameras to grab, and we were just taking it all in as well. So
yeah, that's the thing, you want to sort of absorb it at the time. But we grabbed what we could, and to be honest, they were so close that we ended up, our best footage was taken on our phones. So they came right beneath us, and they swam through the rocks that we'd been going on about for weeks before, saying, oh, how amazing.
Imagine if they'd have come right through these rocks here.
Yeah.
And then they literally did.
And they literally did, yeah.
And there was all 8 members of the pod at that time as well.
Yeah, yeah. So since then, one individual has passed away, so it got tangled in fishing gear.
And drowned.
So that was the last time that really all 8 of them had been seen together, wasn't it? We were so lucky to have seen all 8, and they were just so impressive, so nice to see.
Orca 151 that had died, and it got washed up on Orkney.
Yeah.
And then the post-mortem did determine that that was the cause of death, which is just devastating. And horrific.
We were just devastated. After we'd had such amazing encounters with them and seen, you know, how happy and lively they were, it was just
caused by
horrific.
humans, and it was such a young animal as well.
Yeah.
It was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And healthy
no
animal. It had a
need.
belly full of seal and
Yeah.
tangled up because of humans.
Yeah. I know. After we saw them from the rocks, they sort of headed round the edge and towards the lighthouse, so we had a bit of a mad dash up across all the rocks, which was not easy to run across. It was very difficult. I look like I'm running in slow motion.
It doesn't actually look that far away, but when you're doing it, it's so hard.
It's so difficult. It's all uphill and all like rough, like loose rocks, so it's really hard to do. But we managed to catch up with them over the other side of the lighthouse, and we got another glimpse of them before they headed off north.
Just about caught them before they disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, we went around as well, and we saw them going past various headlands, but we were just quite far away when they were doing that, and they didn't come in again, they just kept going straight past.
Yeah, and to be honest, nothing was going to live up to what we had just experienced anyway, which we'd had the best encounter we ever could have dreamed of.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Not going to do much good down there. So we can't wait to get back to Shetland next year after reminiscing over all of these orca encounters, and hopefully next year we'll have some amazing orca encounters as well.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
But as well as Newquay in Wales, where we are at the moment, another favourite place of ours to see dolphins is just up the coast at Anglesey, where you can see another type of dolphin.
Yeah, one of our favourites.
The Risso's dolphin.
Yeah.
So our next series is in Anglesey looking for Risso's dolphins, so tune into our next video to see what we found there.
Definitely, and we'll see you then. If you enjoy watching our videos, we'd love it if you could give us a like and subscribe to follow more of our adventures.